Happy December. First, I'd like to ask everyone, oh, I did that backwards. How are you doing, kings and queens? Happy December. First, I'd like to ask if you have any questions, put them in the chat. That way, as soon as I see them, I can answer them as soon as possible because of the lag and all that fun stuff. Looking forward to today. It is Wednesday, the first day of December. As you can see in the background, I got Crypto.com's commercial playing. They are doing big things. They're making a lot of moves like Binance did in the early stages. So nothing that I say here today or any time on this channel or anywhere else is financial advice. This is all just for entertainment and education purposes. I'm just here because I like talking about and learning about crypto and stocks and stuff and playing with my puppy in the side. So if you're interested in crypto stocks and alternate investing, hang out with me. I'll be here for a little while today. I'm gonna be sending my link out to a couple of different places, my Discord, my Facebook, and all that stuff. And so bear with me in the beginning. If you hear any noise in the background, it's probably my dog or market news playing also. So first, I'd like to ask, how's everyone's morning? How's everyone's morning? It's looking nice out here today. We got clear skies, sunny. All right, I'm not about to become the weatherman. All right, so if you haven't heard already, Crypto.com did buy naming rights to the Clippers Stadium, which used to be called the Staples Center. So everyone, I even knew it as a Staples Center. I'm not a sports person, and I knew the Staples Center. So it's one of those things that that kind of speaks volumes as to how the industry as a whole is changing since they're allowing, or not even allowing, but it's like acceptable. You can make big bets like that in the crypto space, sort of crypto space, however you want to put it. I still think it's interesting about this. So that's one of the things we'll be talking about today. Is a little bit more about Crypto.com. Be looking at some stocks, some cryptos. Obviously, it's market open. And I got some interesting news. Also, we got things like UST that's launched and now working. We got Grayscale doing some interesting things. Cardano is... Here's my note that says stop touching my face. That's a habit of mine. Whenever I get on video, I have to start just... Anyway. That's neither here nor there. So, what was another one? Oh, Polygon making big moves. So it's going to be hopefully a packed day today with me talking and words and stuff. Like always, I got my charts for my live in the background on my other computer, so I can watch that at the same time. Luna's up 5% already, just about on the day. Let me actually get that up on the screen too. So many things open. Where are you? Did I not open you? Oh, there you are. Okay. There we go. Let's see what is going on. Hello? You don't see it on? Okay, I should be live now. Okay, check my channel again and make sure I'm live. I'll send you the link.
I have you on the computer now.
Okay, I'll email you.
Okay.
Alright, love you too, bye. So my mom's on the other end helping me with testing things and, supporting me and stuff. So when she's saying that she can't see me, let's make sure that this is all working properly. Alright, so if you can see this on the other screen, I do have the cryptos open. Let's see at the top coins, what's moved the most so far. Gotta refresh. Laptop's a little slow given that I'm doing all the streaming and everything. Hopefully that doesn't affect things too much. There we go. Let's close down some stuff. Or at least minimize it. Alright, there we are. Ecomi. I remember this was one I was looking at. I forget exactly what it is. But that definitely was not 94 not too long ago. That much I can say. Alright, there we are. Now we're back. Okay. So Ecomi has the biggest gains, it looks like, in the last 24 hours at 20%. Matic, I'm not surprised about that at all. This Polygon I've been looking at, I have a little bit of it. They're layer 2 almost becoming a layer 1. They help with congestion and fees on the Ethereum network. A lot of people are building on Polygon and using Ethereum because of the network that it has. But at the same time, you do sacrifice a little bit of security from what I understand when you are using Polygon as opposed to Ethereum. But this one, if it can hold over $2, I do see this one. I do have high hopes for this one. Awesome. Looks like everything is working now. Okay. Stacks. I was looking into that one before. I forget exactly what it is. Some of these, just because I did, just get off of working at another job, I did take some time from really being into looking at crypto, the news heavily, about a month ago. So I'm just starting getting back into looking into everything. So if it's an older coin that I used to hold or used to look at, I have to kind of refresh my memory. So if you have questions about anything specific, put it in the chat, and I'll get to it as soon as I possibly can. And other than that, we got about 8 minutes until market open, it looks like. And right now I'm just going to be putting the link. I'm going to post it into the chat. But if you hear crunching, my dog is eating a bone right now.
Till market open.
Oh,
it looks like.
That's loud. Yeah, so if you hear crunching right now, my dog is chewing on a bone. And, well, I'm not going to tell him to stop. Okay, got that in there. And now, can I pin that? Let's see if I can pin that when that comes through. All right, and to continue on, Curved Out token, another one. Man, a lot of these that I've heard of a while ago are doing well today. But then again, are they doing well overall? Looks like some are doing well in the 7 days. CRO is, this is doing well in the 7 days, or in the last week or so. Forget what this says. This is up from like 13 cents in the past couple of weeks. This is one of my favorite ones. The thing that I do notice though, when you're looking at it, just a quick view like this, so just so you know, it's hard to get a full picture of everything that is really going on, because if you look at, or especially meme tokens, if you go back, a lot of the meme tokens, even though it may say they're up 20-30% today, they could still be down like 40% from their all-time high, which is when everyone was talking about them and fussing over them. Hey Dad, how's everything going? And let's see, we'll keep going down this list. We got 7 more minutes until market open. Zcash is a big one that a lot of people have been talking about more recently. Qcoin, this is one that I wish I had grabbed some of. I use the platform a lot when it comes to Qcoin. I'm gonna be honest, I don't know why I haven't been grabbing the coin. It was at like $4, $6, and I kept telling myself I was going to, and I just never did. And it's one of those things, you live and you learn. It's not about timing the market, it's about time in the market. And I hear Altcoin Daily say that, and the big thing that I get from that is it's not just that you're not going to time the market all the time, but it's also sometimes you have to be in the market, or at least have some skin in the game in the market to see what's really going on so that you can get an emotional feel of the things that you missed out on or that you knew were going to do well. A CRO is another one. I pulled out too early on that, and I bought back in before it went up as high as it is now. But that one, I should have just kept everything in and had more confidence. Would have made a lot more money. Anyways, we'll keep going down this list. Algorand is another good company long term. Solana is layer one. Anytime this is around $200, it's a good buy. $225, I would say, is about its valuation right now. If you look at a chart, it's probably been consolidating at 225-ish for the last probably month and a half or so. Wonderland, I'm not too familiar with it, but I do know it's a gaming NFT token. It was at about $7,000 last time I saw it. Avalanche doing very well, 124. I think I got in on this at about 70. It's a layer one, trying to do about the same as Solana and Ethereum. Honestly, it's really a competition of network effect, fees, and congestion. And speed. If you can get those things down as a layer one, it seems like that's what those are the big money makers. Terra is another one. Luna. Luna is actually something I'm going to get into right after the market opens, after we look at a couple of things. This one, I think I got in on this one pretty high. I think I'm in at like $40-some here. It did have a dip to like the 30s recently. This one is a layer one, kind of like Avalanche and Solana, but they're doing some interesting things right now. We'll talk about that in a bit. OKB, Sushi, don't know those guys. Cardano is another one that I'm bullish on long term. It lost its emotional momentum, meaning that the sentiment around it didn't hold as well when Bitcoin dipped recently. So I'm hoping that everyone's eyes get back onto this. It's a good project. They're doing similar things to what Solana is, and they're backed, I believe, by similar people too. So hopefully the sentiment on this picks back up. Uniswap, I'm a big fan of Uniswap just because I was one of the ones who was able to get the drop. I have some of that. I'm actually looking to unload some, but I'm really looking to do that around $35, $40. But $21 is about where it seems to have been comfortable. Binance Coin, Binance Coin and I have a love-hate relationship. I've made some money on it, lost some money on it, but I remember when it was $12, did not buy it. I remember when it was $16, $17, $24, did not buy it. I bought in like the 200s and then sold around there too. So as I was saying before with CRO, this is doing a lot of the same things that BNB was doing before it took off. So I'm very bullish and going to be continuing to buy CRO on dips. I buy BNB on dips also, but CRO, as far as market cap and everything, has more to go. Let me actually sort these out by market cap. That would make more sense. Okay, and let me explain what I mean by that too. When for those of you who are on here who are beginners, when I say it would make more sense to organize it by market cap and not by gains. In the stock market, you can look at things more by gains, because it's more of a solid market and people are looking for the returns in the 24-hour, 1 hour, or 7-day, whatever it may be, whether it's day trading, swing trading, long-term holding. But in the crypto market, we're worried about market cap. When things move, we usually look at the movement of the market cap, not necessarily the price itself or the value of the coin itself. So what I should mention when it comes to CRO, because now you see BNB is above CRO. So BNB's market cap is $100 billion right now, $108 billion. So if CRO does similar things to what BNB has done, what that implies, or what you could infer from that, is basically saying that CRO has the capability of doing a 10x, 9x, more or less, because it only has a market cap of 18 billion. And to put that in perspective, that's a cryptocurrency, not real money, with a market cap of 18 billion. It's pretty mind-blowing. So $100 million or $100 billion is where BNB is at now. I'm not saying it's going to catch up. BNB took some time to get up to here. But I do see CRO getting to about 30, maybe 40 million, billion dollars in market cap, maybe even 70, 80 billion dollars. But we'll see. But in my opinion, I see at least a 2 to 3x in those. As I know, I kind of switched up the list. Let's see what else I missed when I did do that. So Cardano's one. All right, looks like market's open. Let's go to the lead roll. And remember, there is a little bit of a delay, but as soon as it does pick up, we'll see all this stuff start to flash different colors and see what sector is really taking off in the start of the day. And as always, if you have any questions, leave them in the chat. If you have any questions in the Discord, I'll also look in Discord, leave them there too. I'll answer them as soon as I possibly can. And then we'll get right back into it. $11.44. Rivian is down. It's at 119. All right, this is probably still pre-market numbers. No, actually, I see some movement down low. Maybe the automobile space is still the one that's in the lead today. Yep, okay, there it is. There's the movement. Okay, so consumer goods is what took off right in the beginning. Berkshire Hathaway. I really wish I had a Berkshire Hathaway stock. Anyway, semiconductors seems to be next. Not surprising. Semiconductors is something that I really meant to look into about a year ago and just never did. I just kept forgetting. All right. Energy. I'm looking into energy now. I think energy is going to be the next thing, or one of the next things that people are looking into as far as investments globally. It's so interesting. I think my color, the screen of my color on my screen is off. I can actually see more when I look into the screen reported. Anyway, I think energy is going to be one of the next things that's going to take off. One of the things I'm very bullish on, or one of the companies, is UEC. It's a uranium company. And they're tied to uranium, not nuclear energy as a whole. So you're going to get more of a tie to the base asset itself. So this popped up because I looked it up. All right, NEO is one that I'm in right now, along with UEC. Both of them are down from my positions, but I'm not too worried about it, especially since it's around the holidays. I kind of expect things to be down a little bit around the holidays, at least in sectors that not too many people care about. So let's see, where's Tesla? Tesla's 1170, Apple's 166. All right, so overall, it looks like the market's opening up pretty green. Really green, which is good, but also not too difficult since we did just come off of some big pullbacks after Thanksgiving or around Thanksgiving. All right, so let me get into what we are going to talk about today. Let's see. Okay, so UST is going to be the first topic we're talking about today. Let me just pull up the right. Yep, there's the right web page. Minimize these so we don't have too much energy pulled in the background. So my computer is running a little slow. Okay, so the first thing that I wanted to talk about was something that I mentioned just a little bit ago, Luna. So what we were just looking at, the coin that's at $60 right now, or I guess that might be considered a token technically, but won't get into those specifics right now. So Luna is the project that is, or is the token that is being used to counteract UST. So UST is a stablecoin that's built by Terra, and a stablecoin is effectively something that tracks the dollar. So when we're talking about stablecoin, it means that it shouldn't go up or down from $1. If it does, then something in the background might be a little bit off or not kept up. Is some arbitrage that has gone on. Most of it seems to be figured out now. But what they're doing here, so let me explain how a normal stablecoin works. It usually works basically, you take money from your bank account, you put in $50 into something like crypto.com, and you buy USDC, which is a United States dollar coin. It's I think an Ethereum-based project, something that Coinbase and another company or another corporation started. Anyway, another entity started. And what that does is it takes your $50, it effectively burns those $50 in real life and turns it into digital currency, into the cryptocurrency, the USDC. Once that happens, then you can now access other cryptos on whatever network you bought. USDC, it's the Ethereum network, with that USDC. Luna's doing it a little bit differently because the accounting for all of the dollars that are being burned isn't necessarily accurate all the time. And it's also a very centralized way of doing it because it more or less means that one company is holding all of those dollars in their reserves to account for the money that's being put into the currency world. The way Luna is trying to do it is they're basically saying, the way Terra is doing it is they're saying, hey, go buy the Luna token. Whenever you want UST, you have to burn X amount of that Luna token to get UST. Well, that's not what we want. Okay, so it looks like you don't have to be a big channel to get people putting this stuff into your chat. Let's see if that works. Let me try and get rid of this spamming that's going on real quick. Okay. All right, interesting. We already got some spammers at 14 followers. So anyway, so Terra, what they're doing is they're basically saying if you want, so the coin itself or the token itself right now, Luna, is at about $60. So if you wanted $60 in UST, what you would do is you'd burn one Luna and you'd get your $60 UST. I did that backwards. I should be putting my hand that way. So that's another way of doing it. It decentralizes everything. It basically leaves keeping the value of the dollar or the value at tracking a dollar stable up to those using the project. As long as it's being used, we'll say adequately, properly, because there is some arbitrage that could be done through that, it should always track the dollar. I think that's also going to be one thing that'll have to do with network effect. I guess I didn't fully get those out of there, did I? Okay, I'll deal with that in a second. So that's how they're going to do their stablecoin, their UST. So if you own Luna, then you can burn Luna and then get UST in return. This is kind of just explaining how that process looks. This is explaining what it means as far as how the centralization works of other companies. They're saying it's very centralized. This is if you want to follow someone, this is a very prominent person on Twitter in the crypto space. They're saying it's very centralized to do it the way that it has been done as far as companies like USDT is the biggest one that people will get concerned about. They say, there are accusations or assumptions that USDT Tether doesn't actually hold all of their money or all of the dollars that they're supposed to in reserve to track their currency. So effectively, if a company were to go over, everyone wanted to pull out all of their money, Tether should be able to liquidate it and give all those dollars back and not feel a thing because it should be in their reserve. Some people speculate that that's not true. So that's why Luna's doing, or Terra's doing something like this, so that burning the Luna coin or token can effectively solve that problem. Because it's not up to someone holding money anymore. It's up to the people using the coin to burn it. So this is someone on Twitter. Who was it? A Luna influencer? All right, whatever that means. Said the way that they explained it worked. But wait, how do you create this coin? Are they printed out of thin air? So no, you take Luna. If Luna was worth $50, there's an algorithm that's backing it. You say you need $50. You'll need one full Luna to create that. So the UST of it. The algorithm allows the players to do arbitrage to keep the peg, which means they have to continually do this conversions to make sure it stays at $1. So it's constantly fighting the up and down battle between 0.99999 cents and 1.000001 cents. And then that's how it's going to be staying at $1. And yeah, so roughly 7.2 million Luna has been burned in the last 5 days. So that's a lot. That's a lot of currency to be burned. A lot of cryptocurrency to be burned. So again, I'd like to say if you have any other questions, leave them in the chat. I'll answer them as soon as I possibly can. And I wonder. I think I might have to be a moderator technically to do that. All right, not going to worry about that right now. I think I can. You can probably still see those comments in the chat. All right. Anyway, let's see where the market is. Let's see what it's doing. Still looking super green. Now, I mentioned this before. This is my watch list from way before. I have not updated this watch list at all, although this is one thing I'm looking at. Oh, I thought it was $5 and change. I want this at $5 and change. I really want this at $1 when I saw it last year. This is a rare earth company. I was looking at them a year ago, and shoulda, coulda, woulda. I was looking at them down here. So rare earths back in when COVID was still very uncertain, they weren't sure if they were going to have enough for watches, cell phones, things like that. So now that they figured it out, and a lot of people support rare earths because they now understand more of what they are, a lot of those companies have skyrocketed. So looking for a pullback in this one. Let's see what else we got. Mostly airlines. I don't even want to be showing these, to be honest with you. Mind Medicine is one that I like. It works in psychedelics, mostly mushrooms and such. Trying to use them for rehabilitation purposes. Airbnb, I'm a big fan of. I have friends who own Airbnbs. I want to own Airbnbs myself. I think there's a big future in companies like that and Airbnb itself, especially once we start getting into decentralized companies that are like Airbnb. That's something I'm really looking forward to. Rivian is a new electric vehicle company. It's doing okay. Was at 140. About 15 minutes after market open. Not bad. Okay, so Grayscale adds Solana Trust to their $44 billion portfolio. So effectively what this means is if you are in Grayscale right now, you can select to own or track Solana as a cryptocurrency. Solana is a layer 1 that's working kind of like Ethereum, but they're calling it, as you can see down here, the Ethereum killer. This is the one that I showed before. It's at about 22 or 220 some odd dollars. The project is, it's faster, it's cheaper, right now it doesn't have as big of a network as Ethereum, and that's going to be the biggest thing when it comes to anything that's called Ethereum killer. It's going to be the network effect that's going to really make the biggest difference, in my opinion, because everyone's already fighting for cheaper gas fees and less congestion, and I think more people are going to try going for proof of stake because of the view, I guess you could say, on proof of work. But I don't think proof of work's going anywhere either. Anyway, this is just talking about how you can make a whole bunch of money off of Solana now in a different way. So if you're super rich and you can get into Grayscale, not financial advice, I like Grayscale. I don't like Grayscale because you don't actually own the asset. Or do you? I can't remember. Do you own the wallet in Grayscale? I'll have to look into that. I haven't looked into that in a minute. All right. Before I get on to this one, let's look at crypto real quick. Bitcoin at 57,888. I don't know why, but I like that number. That makes me feel very confident in crypto right now. So, actually, you know what? Let me divert a little bit from the news and just bring up a couple of things. One thing, I did finally look up small cap versus low cap in stocks, and I was correct with one of my assumptions. It is 10 million or lower is what considers you a small cap. And then in between there, it's kind of like a gray area, and then it seems like 20 billion and higher is a large cap. So the gray area would be considered mid cap. So if you ever hear me saying small cap, large cap, mid cap, those are about the ranges that I'm talking about. With cryptocurrency, it's a little bit different. We're talking billions in cryptocurrency because it's sort of like an exchange of currency rather than a company itself. I'll explain that a little bit later. But actually, I guess I'm explaining that now because that's the next thing that was on my list. Is Bitcoin like a stock? Bitcoin's not like a stock. Bitcoin is, if you know what Forex is, trading foreign currencies, that's more like that's more similar to exchanging Bitcoin than buying a stock is. Bitcoin is a cryptocurrency. So why wouldn't it be like exchanging another currency? The reason I bring that up is because when people are buying it, a lot of times they're looking for an exchange that you can specifically buy a piece of Bitcoin. You can always buy a piece of Bitcoin no matter where you are, no matter what exchange you're using. Well, I shouldn't say no matter where you are. That's very loose of me to say that. No matter which brokerage you're using, you can always buy a fraction of a Bitcoin. So if you only have $50 to your name, you can buy $50 worth of Bitcoin. And as the price of Bitcoin goes up and the ROI increases, your ROI is going to I shouldn't be doing that over the red one. Your ROI is going to increase as well. It's not going to obviously be in the tens of thousands exactly like this will be, but it'll increase at the same percentage rate. The market cap will increase at the same percentage rate. So reason I bring that up is because if you're afraid of getting into certain coins, or if you're hesitant into getting into certain tokens because of how much it says the price is right here, you want to be looking more at the market cap and what the project is doing itself. That's something I explained a little bit in one of my last videos, but I'll go into Bitcoin real quick. If I were to go into Bitcoin like I am right now, and let's make it a little bit bigger, minimize the screens that are in the background because I'm pulling too much power. My fans are screaming. So, all right, looks like it went up a little bit more. I like it. I think we will be creeping towards all-time highs before the end of the year. Just side note. So as you're looking into different cryptocurrencies, you're going to be looking at the market cap, the circulating supply, so how much is moving around, or how much is out there right now, which this isn't totally accurate because some is assumed to be lost or not going to be moved from the wallet, because I know people who have multiple Bitcoins and are never selling. 24-hour trading volume, how much has moved in the last 24 hours. Fully diluted valuation. I always mix that up when it comes to words because I always mix it up with market cap. So the market capitalization of the coin circulated. Oh, price times max supply, right. and then current supply plus circulating supply. That's why I always get them mixed up. There you go. So if I was doing my research, I would look at these numbers down here. I usually do use these question marks every time because I always forget. And then you would check the explorers, what's the coin looking like as it's moving around on the blockchain. So if you go into an explorer, you can see how the coin is moving. That's, I won't get into that right now. It would be easier if I were to go into one specific coin's trade. But anyway, token view might be a little bit easier to read. Let's see. Yeah, token view would be easier to read. So on a website like this, what this is going to effectively give you is it tells you when each mine was block was formed or each transaction was put through. So you can see this is the amount of volume of Bitcoin that was put into each one of these blocks. So there's one there, there's one there. The miner that completed it. And forgive me if I'm saying some of this off. I am not a miner, and I don't always look at the blockchain action in this way. I kind of just take numbers, let them soak into my brain, mix around, and then they come out looking like stuff that makes sense to me. So I'm still trying to make sense of that. It has something to do with dyslexia. So, but this will give you the hash rate. So hash rate is effectively the speed at the speed at which it's getting done. Transactions count. The transaction count. The difficulty. So how hard is it to solve the problem for the miners? The transactions right here. Latest block, as you can see right here, this is the last block that was done. This is the current block that we're in. And then you can tell at certain times of the day when it goes up and down as far as the transaction. So depending on if the U.S. is awake, Europe's awake, and all that fun stuff. So those are certain things that I look at when I'm looking into a coin. So that's just a little bit of a difference of how it is. Stop touching your face, Michael. When it comes to stock market and crypto market, and my little bit of a side note on can you buy a fraction. So if I wanted to go on to an exchange, I would be able to buy a fraction of this. See all these zeros right here? All of those zeros are basically available to buy. You have 100 million Satoshis per Bitcoin, and you can buy one Satoshi. I mean, it's hard because one Satoshi is less than a penny. Or, it's very small amount, but you can buy it. Back to the news. Crypto.com, as I mentioned earlier, is I think going to be a big winner in the space. It already is kind of dominating. If you haven't heard, they bought naming rights to where the LA Clippers play. So what used to be called the Staples Center is now Crypto.com Stadium, I believe, or Center. I think it's Crypto.com Stadium. So they're looking to buy 2 new exchanges in the first half of 2022. So Q1 2022. Or did it say first half? I think I was just reading earlier and read Q1 somewhere. Anyway, oh man, my nose really itches. I'm really trying not to touch my face. It's difficult though, especially on my nose. My mustache hairs keep touching my nose. Okay. The North American Exchange, North American Derivatives Exchange is one that they're looking at buying, along with the Small Exchange. Is that right? Yeah, that's right. So, as I was reading through this earlier, they are effectively getting into a little bit more of the traditional finance, not just the cryptocurrency space, as far as Crypto.com that is concerned. So, of course, as this says, it works in derivatives, and then the Small Exchange works in futures. So, not crypto. It seems like Crypto.com might be getting into trying to work in the traditional finance space as well. So, with all of the money that they've been putting out there in marketing, and all of the money that's been going into Crypto.com, I mean, like I showed before, it's $18 billion market cap, as I mentioned earlier, and it was not anywhere near that just a few weeks ago. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's been exploding. So seems like they're going to be trying to become a big player in banking as a whole in the future. So it's a big reason why I'm very bullish on it. If you do want to get a Crypto.com account, if you check out the link in the description below, you'll be able to see the link. I have a referral code down there, but I think this is going to be huge. They did. Oh, Crypto.com also just had a partnership with Formula One for $100 million, and they are, I think, in talks with. Oh, and of course, the Clippers. So Cardano. On to the next news. Cardano is another token that I have been very bullish on. It's at a pretty decent pullback right now, and it's been kind of steadily staying lower recently. But they're getting into the NFT space, and anyone getting into the NFT space seems to be doing well, or I think getting looked at a little bit more. And here's a sneeze coming. Yep, we're about to rock it. Woo! You got to figure out how to mute this stuff. Sorry about that, if that like blew out your ears. But the Cardano price has been trading around $1.60, $1.70. I mean, even as low as like $1.50 lately. And if they get into NFTs, I think it will help them, but they're going to need a DEX. They're still going to need a DEX. So I'm looking out for Sunday Swap to come out. Once Sunday Swap comes out, that'll solidify a lot more with what Cardano's future looks like. But, I mean, hey, looks like there could be a future there. And very short, sweet, and to the point. If it seems like I'm kind of blasting through these, I kind of am because we have 15 more minutes left. And I didn't realize that. So, learning the structure of this. So the daily hodl. Bitcoin addresses smash an all-time high. Hint, hint to those who are watching here. Thank you. God bless you as well. If you are watching here, and you don't have a Bitcoin address, I highly recommend you talking to someone who you may know, preferably a trusted family member, to help you set up a Bitcoin address and your Bitcoin so that you are hedging against some other bets for the future. Not financial advice. So anyway, this is Glassnode basically saying that the addresses that are being opened are staying open, and they are they're not holding nothing, to put it in a weird way of saying it, I guess. So basically it means that a lot of addresses are open and they don't have a $0 amount, if you can see that right here, non-zero balance. So this is very bullish, especially with the way sentiment has been going towards, or with accepting Bitcoin as a currency in other countries. Sometimes it's hard for me to get words out because I just picture pictures. So I'm like picturing this country in my head and I have to think of the word country. Or I should say picture a video in my head. So anyway, so very bullish on that. I don't even remember exactly what I was saying. But Bitcoin addresses, there's a lot of them. If you don't have one, go get one. I think I'm scrolling through the way they have this website set up makes you go through other articles right away. Okay, so 21 shares is the Paris exchange, I believe. Yep. And they're opening up they just started a exchange traded product for Polygon. So I've been mentioning Polygon the last couple of days, the whole amount of time that this channel has been alive. And it's a layer 1/layer 2 on Ethereum. It's the one that I was mentioning before. The ticker is MATIC, Matic. That if they can stay over $2, I am very bullish that they will continue to grow and maybe rocket ship upward because they are competing with Ethereum now. They were made to help Ethereum, like I said, congestion and fees, like everyone else's. But you still have the security of Ethereum. But a lot of people are like solely using Polygon, kind of not really caring about the security, lack of security, or whatever. Not saying that's a bad thing, but that's why a lot of people like Ethereum, the decentralization of it. But with things like this coming out, I think it's going to bring a lot of eyes onto it. So I don't know how big Paris and Amsterdam are in the crypto space specifically, so I don't know how much this will really make a huge difference. But hey, any news is good news. If you're in the crypto space and your name is getting out there, you're at least being talked about. Let's minimize this. All right, if you have any questions, put them in the chat. I'm going to start winding down. We're going to start looking at a couple of other things before I hop off. We'll be looking at some resources, kind of going over things that are happening like right now, rather than just some news. And looking at some news pages, seeing if there's anything that popped up in the last couple of minutes. Make sure I'm going in. Yep, hit all my topics. Okay, we're looking good. Oh, excuse me. Sorry if you heard that. I'm going to blast through these because I don't really care about offering referral links per se. More of just make it easier for you to have an on-ramp of getting into things. So crypto.com, there's Matt Damon. He makes a lot of money. He did a commercial. They're putting out a lot of money. I've used them for a while. I use their Visa card. That's pretty much how I pay for things. Referral in the link in the description below. They're getting into NFTs also. I think they have a partnership with UFC, if I'm not mistaken. Coinbase, one of the OGs of the crypto space, originally was made just to be basically a custodial wallet. Now they're a whole exchange and everything. Link in the description. We can, I think, both get $10 if you put in like $100 or something. But this is one of the easier on-ramps. This and Crypto.com, the reason I have these on here is because they're the easier on-ramps. If you want links for other exchanges, ask me in the Discord, because I have, KuCoin, Gate.io, etc. But those are harder to use. BlockFi, if you're looking to hold your crypto for long term, so let's just say you're new to the crypto space, you don't really care about trading it at all, you're going to be holding on to this for your kids and your grandkids, or for when you want a beach house in 15, 20, 30 years. This is where I kind of would recommend putting your stuff. Do your research for New Jersey specifically. I have heard that the SEC, I believe, is starting to look at them, or someone in Jersey is starting to look at them. A lot of the Fed peoples or government peoples are starting to come down on cryptocurrencies because they're competing with the dollar. No one wants them to compete with the dollar, or to say they don't want to be competed against. But you can get as much as 8.6% APY on your stable coins in here. So if you're holding GUSD, let's do a quick calculation. GUSD for 10 years, you get $1,300 in interest per year. It's not too shabby. Webull is the one that we've been looking at today. It is an exchange, primarily stocks. If you use this for crypto, you're not holding your own keys. So you're tracking the asset if you buy crypto on something like Webull or the other guys out there. But you don't actually hold your crypto. So if you do buy it in here, just know you can't transfer it out. You can only cash it out. If you want to actually move things around in the crypto space, use something like BlockFi, Coinbase, or Crypto.com. Those will help you move things around. Okay, so one of the websites that I like to use to kind of see what the sentiment is about when I'm looking into my coins or different coins, and now this is for altcoins, so this is higher risk stuff. It's called Lunar Crush. So Lunar Crush, they basically take the social numbers and formulate which coin is kind of going to do the best based on that. Cake is one that I've had for a good while now. Excuse me. PancakeSwap is a decentralized exchange. You can go on there, pancakeswap.finance, and yeah, you can get a lot of coins through there that you can't get on things like Crypto.com, Coinbase, and all that stuff. EOS has been around for a while. Not very bullish on them. I probably shouldn't have even mentioned their name. I have some, but actually looking to unload at a big loss. Polygon, mentioned that earlier. Very bullish on that. The alt rank, as you can see, is number 3. Let me see, but its galaxy score, and its galaxy score is way up. So when I'm looking at this, what I'm looking at is which one has a high galaxy score, and the altcoin rating is pretty high as well. And then I'll start to look into that coin more in depth. If I see that it's a coin that more people were talking about, or that a lot of people were talking about, as far as talking heads or in the news or friends or anything, and these numbers aren't like what I was just mentioning, like it's like this right here as a high Galaxy score, but a super low altcoin rating, I might look at, let me stop using EOS as an example. Like Zcash, high Galaxy score, but low, but is a lower altcoin rank. I might look at it if I'm hearing some social buzz around it as well, like in my own personal circles. Chainlink, I like Chainlink. Anything it's in the mid 20s or low 20s, I think is a decent buy. Yes, but even if it's especially if it's under $20. But yeah, this is one of the websites that I use when it comes to looking into or looking at my cryptos, looking for my cryptos, I should say. And something that I'm very interested in or very bullish on for the future is something called decentralized social media. So this is one called bitclout.com. Deso is the coin that they exchange in. So Deso is a coin is worth about $100 right now. Doesn't look like I am currently logged in, although I thought I was. So we'll go over that another day. Let's see, what else do we want to look at? Let's look at OpenSea. So OpenSea is a NFT exchange. So if you don't know what an NFT is, it's a non-fungible token. A non-fungible token can be anything from a contract for buying a house or a car to, with your kids, you can get $10 of allowance if you do these chores, and if they mark off on the blockchain that they do these chores, then $10 would be deposited into whatever address or sent to whatever address. But it's also pictures, images, videos, music, things like that. So when you hear people talking about musicians getting into the NFT space, it's probably because they released a track and they are selling it as an NFT as opposed to just selling it in the mainstream. So there's usually going to be a limited supply of it. There's going to be, what's the other word I'm looking for? Limited supply. Oh, and you can verify that you are the actual owner of it. And when you go to resell it, unlike buying, a regular download or a CD or something like that in the store, the person who created it can get rewards from it in return. So these are a couple of the NFTs I have. I know they're probably a little bit interesting, but when it comes to NFTs, you got to buy what you like. If you're not buying what you like, then it's literally going to be money down the drain if you're just trying to chase projects. This was me just trying to chase a project. I thought it kind of looked cool, so I bought it, and I wasn't too worried about it. It cost me $0 technically, but I had to pay a couple of bucks to get it moved into my wallet. But these types of digitized characters were doing well for a while, but it does depend on the backing of the project. These right here are a little bit different. They're a little bit smaller, a little bit more of I liked them, so I bought them, and maybe if they'll make me money in the future, then cool. If not, I don't really care. But this one right here, if I click on it, OpenSea takes me to the coin's description specifically. You can see that 2 people have liked it so far, which is a good sign. If people are liking it, as you can see, if you look back at a couple of the other coins, I have 30 likes on one of mine, NFTs. Then that at least shows that there is interest in it itself. But what you want to do is you go into the NFT, you go into the project and see kind of more of the background, how many are out there, you can find the information on it, when it was made, the floor, if there is a floor price. Right now, not many of them are being traded. So this is what I am looking at every so often with that NFT. So when I am ready to sell it, I can, and I'm kind of seeing what they're selling for. So this is what people have them listed for, which is a good sign that people are willing to put out money to list the NFT this high. I don't think that they will hit that high, but then you can see what they are actually selling for. So 0.03 ETH, I think that's like $100 right now, $80. It's about the same. Let's see. Should tell me a dollar amount right now. Oh, usually tells me in like parentheses right here. But anyway, it's a little bit about NFTs as a little side topic. And I think that pretty much covers everything today. I don't think I have much more to fill in. If I fill anything else in, I'm kind of just talking just to talk. yeah, so yeah, I think I'm gonna wrap it up here. That's let me not wrap it up on my own or on someone else's NFC. So that's what I got for you today for what's today? Wednesday's market open. Next time I'll be going live will be Friday at market open. I might be dropping a video in between this week, but for sure I'll be dropping a video next week. And I appreciate you for joining me. Thank you so much for the support. Thank you for hanging out. If you want to be a part of the Discord, I got it pinned in the chat right above, or find me at one of my contact infos on my channel. Thanks a lot, Mom and Dad, for hanging out with me. Really appreciate you guys. Love you guys. And don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe, and leave a comment down below. It helps the algorithm and stuff. All right. And signing off.